Hello! I actually was not meaning to click that right away. But then my cat came over and stepped on my mouse for me, so I guess that means we're starting. I think this doesn't fit properly, so... Oh! No! Transform, stretch the screen. Good. Alright, so we finished the last case. That means we're starting a new case. I don't know who's gonna be or what's they gonna do, but it's gonna be weird. We know that. So let's get into the news. Justice for all. Yeah, okay. We've stuck with one load so far. One save so far. So we have a new something going on. I already forgot the introduction of it. It was interesting. The girl, let her go. Oh, yeah, it's a bridge, right? Someone died. I couldn't tell who. Shut up! Come closer, and I kill her! So she supposedly died, right? Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. But it looked like, based on context, it would seem like she killed him, right? But then the whole thing is that she died? Is it a ruse? I don't know. This is one of Mia's cases, which I'm guessing they're doing so we can see Big Booba Mia again. First case, my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. Terry falls. Bottoms! Because he fell. Get it? He fell. Kidnapping, murder, sentence, death penalty, movements. After escaping, Falls met with and then murdered Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Recaptured on equal amounts about 8 hours after his escape. So again, that sounds like she was the one that died, right? No, her client was the one that broke out. So is Falls the innocent one? Or are we doomed to fail? Are we gonna go through the failure and then come back and resolve it all these years later? I'm so nervous, I feel like I'm going to die. I never should have accepted this case. Eeh! Good morning. I'm scared of my own client. I didn't do nothing, I swear I didn't kill nobody. My first client, sentenced to death 5 years ago and now a prison escapee. Just relax, Mia. Make small talk and try to relax him. So why did you escape anyway? Why are we talking about it here? I'm sorry. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere. Mr. Falls, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago. Ugh. Sorry, I told a little lie. But anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed nobody. Sorry for asking, but you're on death row now, right? It's really bad for your teeth. I'm really, really sorry. He sentenced me to die 5 years ago. But I was tricked, I tell you. That woman, she lied in her testimony. That's why I got the death penalty. I swear it, I didn't kill her. I could never do that. Escaped from the police wagon when it crashed. About 8 hours later, a policewoman was murdered before the police could recapture him. The police believe that Terry Falls did it. After you escaped, did you meet a policewoman? Yeah, I did. He's the reason I escaped. How much is true, he did meet with the victim. But I didn't kill her. She was alive when I left. She was alive, it's true. I can trust him, right? I mean, I should. Ha! Oh my god! That's Godot, right? That's maskless Godot. You're not gonna figure out the truth just by staring at the guy. Why are you here? I came to see how our little kitten was doing all alone in the big scary lion's den. I thought that maybe you'd like someone to play with. Where's Mr. Grossberg? That old man is probably still in bed. He has to be Godot, right? Why does Godot wear that stupid visor? I bet he's clutching an empty bottle and mumbling in his sleep. Aren't I good enough after all? Oh, it's Diego Armando. Oh, this is less fun. No, it has to be Godot. It has to be Godot. It's not fun if it's not Godot. Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego Armando. I didn't say. So Diego Armando, the finest attorney at Grossberg Law Offices, is here for me? No, you've got it all wrong. Today, you're the finest. After all, it took an amazing amount of guts to take this case. Imagine. An escaped death row convict for first client. Yeah, thanks. Sure, I wish I could get out of it, though. Relax, I just heard some good news. The prosecutor for today is fresh out of his diapers as well. However, unlike a certain someone who I won't mention, he's earned the reputation as a genius since beginning his law career. If it's gonna be Edgeworth, he is too goddamn young! It's about time to head in, kid. Sharpen those claws of yours, it's go time. A solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. And that's what my client ran away from. Every other lawyer gave up on him, but not me. When I saw those overflowing eyes and heard that simple childlike voice, I just had the feeling he was telling the truth. We don't facial tattoo discriminate here. Is it gonna be younger Edgeworth? Oh, it's Gold Judge! It's Gold Judge! Session for the trial of Terry Falls. Goddamn Gold Judge. You know, the other judge is old enough. The other judge is old enough that he, should be here still, though. How long ago is this? Defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. How old is he right here? Court record? How old is he? 27. We don't know how old my girl is. We don't know how old Mia is. We never know how old Mia is, though. Yes, Your Honor. I'm Mia Fey. Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. So you're the new prosecutor everyone is talking about, eh? They say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age. At 20, Your Honor. Okay, fine. So he'd have had 4 years? Over... Phoenix? I guess, because the game starts at 24 for Phoenix, and they're the same age. So... He's 20 now, right? That's the idea. He's 20. Today's his court debut. So, that means Mia only has like 4 years of experience on... Edgeworth? Not Edgeworth, on Phoenix, which means she died at like probably like 28 or something. I don't remember how old she was. How old was Mia when she died? I want to know. How old was Mia Fey when she died? In theory, she should be not even 30. 28. Yeah. That's fine. Age. Documented age range 24 to 27? This is 28. This is Maya Fey. Oh. This is different. Do you think she was better off dead? What? She had to be 28, right? Soricide. How old is Mia Fey? I can take out when she died then, maybe. 27. She dies at 27. Trials and Tribulations, she's 24. So she's 24 now? I guess that somewhat passes, because then that would mean that they would be... So, by the time Phoenix joins, Edward's 24 and he's 24. Which would make her 27, almost 28. Well, it'd make her potentially 28. I would guess 28. But she could have been 27. Like, the way the ages could have worked out, they could be, like, 28. Or, sorry, 27 and 24. Which means she was only practicing for, like, 3 years. He still needs a lot of help, then. Well, Kitten hasn't earned herself much of a reputation yet. It feels like they just have to have a side character with you as you talk through things. And it can't be Maya, obviously. Come on, Mia. You can't lose, not to someone younger than you. Young people running a trial. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Currently still on death row. Defendant is not on trial for escaping prison. On the day the defendant escaped, a policeman was murdered. So we're here to determine if he was responsible. You gotta stop calling me Kitten, though. To your opening statement. Yes, Your Honor. It was 5 years ago. Defendant Terry Falls was sentenced to death in this very court. Kidnapping and extortion and murder. The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old. Really horrible crime, I remember it well. There was no decisive evidence, the trial was long and protracted. Finally decided the case was a certain witness's testimony. And is that supposed to be the girl? Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted this criminal. She arrested Mr. Falls at the scene and later testified against him. That she witnessed Mr. Falls throw his young victim into the river. Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall are never recovered. Exactly, the victim, the same woman that was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. I knew sentenced to death based on her testimony escaped 2 days ago, with only one thing on his mind, to take revenge against the woman who convicted him. Ah, the truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes, yes. It's quite obvious the defendant is guilty. What? Nothing happened yet. That's not right. At least hear the case before you decide the outcome, Your Honor. Don't circumvent your entire legal system! Watch yourself! I'm not sure if I care for your word choice or your tone of voice. You heard one logical like line of like, well, he must have hated her, so he must have escaped to kill her. And then you're like, you're right, guilty! Death! Young people don't know how to respect their elders. You're even younger than me, you hypocrite. My first witness. Gumshoe in not green. The real question is this a new, different coat? Or is this just eventually going to become a green coat? Did it get so jank? Oh, we don't have Gumshoe yet. Dick Gumshoe, homicide detective in charge of the case, sir. I finally got promoted to the detective division half a year ago. I don't believe anyone asked you. What is it? You're really gorgeous. Excuse me? No, seriously, my heart is aching for you. Gumshoe, don't be a goddamn simp. Put yourself together and try to be professional. Otherwise, I'll write you up on contempt so quick that something other than your heart will ache. Losing money from day one. Day one. Do we have Gumshoe, yeah? There's 26 here. Oh, God, why does he look so ancient for 26? The timelines don't make sense at all! No, it makes sense. Maybe 29, and then 31, and then... Okay, fine. Fine. Yes, sir, right away. Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, a veteran of the police force. Stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive bloodlust. In the back. You look at the aerial map. Husky Bridge. River. Up there on top of the bridge. Back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. His checkpoint. Husky Bridge map added to the record. Blood found on the bridge. Wearing a thick coat, sir. No traces of blood were found in the bridge. Despite your conjecture, if there was no blood on the bridge, you have no proof that they even met there. You'll be convinced? They did meet on the bridge that day. I love how he immediately was like, you can't prove that they met. You were about goddamn ready to say he was guilty. Wagging your finger at me as if I were some hoser. At least he's getting scolded too. Carefully, one little mistake and something I don't care. And I will drink what? Is this Godot? And the sergeant asked to meet. I'm gonna time it with Mr. Falls. He's brutally murdered, sir. Pushed her body into his car trunk. Arrested at a police checkpoint we set at the base of the mountain. How'd she get stabbed in the back? Settle down there, kid. You keep trembling like that, you're gonna make me spill my coffee. It's definitely Godot. It could be a gold-pulled battlefield, alright? That explains why he was technically so old and to get his first case. Doesn't explain why he became a dick. The defendant, the witness, everyone's a beginner in here. Show what you've got. Stay calm. Just remember those court procedure videos you stayed up last night watching. One sergeant asked to meet. Went to the bridge. How do we have proof that she went? No idea who it might be. I do. Terry Falls. And you should put that. Left a note about her phone call with Mr. Falls. Top secret memo. And Terry Falls. Judge's marshal his verdict. Never ask a question if you don't already know the answer. The prosecutor told me to. It was a trap. That cute face I didn't expect him to be sneaky. A bridge up in the mountains. Why meet there? Very important place. Kidnapped a young girl, chased onto a bridge where he killed his hostage. Ski Ridge. Bernhoff was arrested. Body is discovered right away. Lay on the ball. In 1 hour of murder. We've got to say don't move, we've got you surrounded. How'd they find out about the crime so quickly? Answer the phone call? She wouldn't have been killed. Left a note on her desk about it. Listed earlier, should be alive. This. That bridge, wear a white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia, tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Try to make a getaway. Got a car then? Rocky Mountains. What else? Drove his own car. Stolen from a young couple waiting at a red light. Photo of this one cursed trunk. Made it very not bloody for once. I'm back correct. Men always seem to get stabbed in the back. Stuck in her back, nice and firm. Noteworthy in the trunk of the car. Nothing strange. What? I didn't do nothing. Oh, sorry, I told a little lie. Something like that. Too close for comfort, just over 5. Close. At 4:30. 30 minutes to go from the bridge to the checkpoint. Ball's gonna slip right by. You trap waiting for you in that testimony. Walk into it carelessly and it'll leave more than just a flesh wound fun, huh? No, it's not. Jellies though. Ski bridge. What's the autopsy say? 4 and 5. Anything weird? Coat isn't that thick, but I don't know what they consider a thick coat. The lock is weird, I guess, but they could have forced it open, so I don't know the logic for that. No scarf. Witness. What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Faye? I'm sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say. I've had to actually dress him like that? Practice for coming to court? You're still too young to be drinking real coffee. Lawyer? Detective. Yes, ma'am. This photo, you said that there was nothing peculiar about it. Is that correct? Yeah, that's what I said. I thought I messed up. I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim. The note? It very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like, thus this special request. I have one very simple question for you, detective. Where's the white scarf? I can't seem to find it in this photo. Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am. and you stopped there, you should have looked for it. Poor Gumshoe, just getting kicked. Told her where to identify herself, so I expect she did just that. What do you have to say? The trap. Defense is a little lacking. The scarf you're searching so desperately for is this. See, it's like, it's lacking. You didn't know that I have the scarf here up my ass? Like, like, they're always a dick about, like, you didn't know, haha. Well, you fucking have it, and you didn't tell me. So tell me, how was I supposed to know? Dusky Bridge. Like my own. So you stole evidence. Keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. There you go. Safest place I know. Blair for the dramatic. Not white. Close enough. Whistling. Really? Hello, Casey. I'm still I just love how it's like the shit talk is like, you didn't know? Okay. Did you show me? Did you go and steal it from the crime scene before anyone else could get there and not report it? And therefore lost chain of command? Like, it drives me insane because it's like, chain of command is very important. You could pull that scarf from anywhere and say you got it from the crime scene. You know how you know it's from the crime scene? You leave it there and let the chain of command start from when the crime scene is processed by people that are meant to process the crime scene. Like, okay, not even the first. I could immediately be like, that scarf cannot be evidence because you cannot prove that it was at the crime scene because there is no chain of command, no chain of custody, whatever it is. There's no custody. Like, no one saw it there but you. You're just saying it was there, but it was not properly processed. And I'm pretty sure it would be obstruction of justice if you're just stealing things, because it obstructs the ability to investigate it properly. Where it was located would be important. How it was found would be important. Like how it was left on the ground. Proving it was there. Like, what if you just went to her house and got a dirty scarf? You know? How do you prove that? You leave it there. Attorney for the defense is finished embarrassing herself. I'd like to like. The problem is, it's like overconfident gloating from also being dumb. But then it's because the game, you can't be like, yo, you realize is that you just ruined your own evidence, right? Is alright with you? I have a scarf on his scrawny little neck. Evidence didn't indeed meet. That's what occurred there. I can't wait to hear all about it. Okay, this is the thing. Edgeworth has to win, right? Like, Mia has to lose. Because the idea is that Edgeworth doesn't lose. When we meet him, he doesn't lose. Did Mia already best him once? Like, I don't get it. Something's not adding up. I forget, there's a reason why everyone considers that kid a genius. Am I just destined to fail? Yes, Mia going to win? But like, that's my point though. It's like, it doesn't make sense for the canon of other games. They didn't have to do this. They didn't have to make it Edgeworth either. Eyewitness. Accidentally. What's going on? Criminal stuff. This is not a very thick coat. When the scarf fell off. Shen broken. I get the sense that this bridge is very high up. 40-foot drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below. I took this photo anyway. Well-intentioned third party. Okay, yeah, but I still need to know who that is. I said they absolutely did not want to testify. Very delicate. not sure how I feel about that. With motive and opportunity. Everything's becoming clear to me now. I'm really guilty. I haven't even done my cross-examination yet. I mean, Was an eyewitness. College student. She's female and a college student. Doesn't do well in front of other people, so I came to testify for her. Is it going to be someone we know? But as the attorney for the defense, I have the right to cross-examine her. We're not relying on the witness's statement, that is all. What's that supposed to mean? Isn't there some vague testimony of a female college student? We're gonna meet them, right? She's female and a college student. There's a good reason why. Wearing a scarf in that photo, right? Are they in the mountains? Wildflowers. Spirits live there. This fog-like thing. Is it a ghost? Light rain coming down. Artistry is the mood that's in this courtroom right now. Cold front just moved in. Do I have food in my clothes? Why are you licking me? Damp, even some fog. Pushed the victim hard in the back and she fell down right on her stomach. Okay, well, it's obviously wrong. The one getting pushed is Canadian? What? The record seems to have wet itself. Shoved the victim down from behind and then stabbed her in the back. What he said. Scarf. Pretty violent fight. Mud, but I had no idea there was a photo. No Kimberly's and other fairy tales. Marked in that testimony is a contradiction. Waiting for your chance to discover. Just save for now. Okay, yeah, it is. Oh, damn it. I want to see this again. supposed to be spelled like that? I said brutal if he's Canadian. Figure out to look for the right person. Alright. It's a bridge, the picture? What do you mean? This picture has the bridge in it, but the bridge is like broken or something. February 14th, Valentine's Day. Who's Dahlia? The high schooler? Not the high schooler, university student. Is there something wrong with this? Is that gonna be Dahlia, actually, or something? Oh, duh. But still, where did it go? The outfit does match. Ah, you mean this one? Yeah, I mean, technically they could just spin around, but yeah. Okay, I'll try that. Your Honor. Yeah. Okay, then I'll present it the opposite way. I'll present the photo. Honor. Nope. We'll save again from this point. This amount of penalty doesn't really matter. stomach. Coming down like that one. Car photo? Save scum! I think this one, maybe because she's too clean? I don't know. Light drizzle coming in correct. Going down correct. Generally soggy atmosphere. I have evidence that doesn't go with the soggy atmosphere. Simp's body. I think isn't right. Her stomach, right? She fell on her stomach. Answer is what about here, I think. I messed up. Damn it! Is it the knees? Her knees then. Her knees are too clean. Nope. Ah. Let me load before I have to like sit through a fail scene. All right. Sunny day. It's bright. Where's the sunny day? Her hands? Car? Just save it here. Car? It's dry? God damn it. What? You're a genius. What? Didn't even hear it. Oh, load. What is it? Her face? There's so many things though. Her hands aren't messed up. Her knees aren't messed up. The car is dry. Let's click the ground. Window? The trunk? Any of these could be the answer. It's just, it is not wet. That is the answer. All of it's not wet. Oh, do not save. Do not save. What sunny white area? Their face? Let's do her hand. No, not her hand. The window? The window's not wet? If it's the light on a car, I'm gonna lose my bananas. Cookie! Cookie now! Cookie! Cookie, why? Cookie, stop! 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 My cat had a dangler, so I had to chase her down before she got shit all over my house. The car, light on car reflecting the light of the sun. Where? Is there a specific spot that is? This? Is it not wet enough? What is it? It's just gonna be that she's dry. Is it the coat? I did her stomach already though. Should I do her boobs? Is it the boob? God, I clicked her stomach! God damn it! What were the conditions of the bridge that day? Oh my god. Drizzly and foggy, dusky bridge was all wet. The victim really had fallen on her stomach on top of the bridge, and the front of her coat should have been covered in mud. It said on her stomach. I clicked her stomach. Don't say stomach then, so like say chest. Ugh. On my street with my gorgeous playoff beard was befouled. Doesn't mean that the top of the bridge itself was muddy. Your honor had fallen in the shower instead of a muddy street. Your boy's hockey beard be wet but not muddy. It's still pretty dirty outside. Oh, her scarf. Ah, you got it real fast. I like how she does wear a Maganatama. Matanagama. Your own evidence, sucker. That scarf you gave me. This scarf. As the scarf fell on the bridge and got this muddy, the bridge was obviously covered in mud. Suck it. I can't be outwitted by this novice bimbo. You're younger than me, son. Same to you, buddy. Alright, makes sense to me. Condition of the victim's coat and her scarf. Just be a contradiction. However, the real question is, why is there a contradiction, huh? There exists an explanation! Let's save real fast, just in case I screwed up. Ha! Doing pretty well for a little kitten. Can you stop? It's good, definitely Godot. I'm down to a lie. The time. Either the victim discovered in the trunk. The witness's photo showing the defendant and the victim. Or the witness's testimony that stated she saw the moment of the murder. A Something about Tribulations, right? False evidence is one of those three. Well, it's definitely just a die roll. What you said just now, I'm not sure I like that. It wasn't me, it was the coffee aficionado over here that said it. False evidence, you know. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into court. We won't let him. We'll expose his evidence as the flimsy scheme it really is. The false evidence is... The body is in the trunk, though. The photo is a photo that looks valid, I would say. So I would say the testimony. It's a no-brainer. Obviously, it's the witness that's suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, is that testimony exactly what the witness claims to have seen? What the witness told us. The testimony is filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all. It's true. It's the truth. There was truly a decisive witness in this case. I'm certain that boy Wonder over there would have called them in the first place. Your Honor, the defense requests to cross-examine the eyewitness. The testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contradictory as well. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, it appears that you'll need to hear from your mystery witness after all. Huh! You should brace yourself for the brutal truth. I thought that was already supposed to be the truth. Your Honor, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court. We're prepared to present our witness at any time. And... please bring forth your witness. Worries me? What does he mean by the brutal truth? Testimony. Cummins, the woman's other events. Are we gonna recognize her? College student? Doing a lot of throwbacks. I feel like we're gonna recognize her. What's your name and occupation? Oh, it's her! Wait. Why everyone's so silent and hear their hearts going pitter-patter? This would have to be before Phoenix dated her, because Mia defended Phoenix, and this is her first case. So this means her and Phoenix either aren't dating or just started dating yet or something. I don't know. But of course, it is someone we recognize. When I look at you, how can I put it? You look as scrumptious as a double-double and a dozen donut holes. Okay, that's awful. Want to hurry up and hand down a verdict just to have a bite? Ew! Ew! Not so fast. As I've said before, this witness is very sensitive and delicate. No, she's a bitch! Please exercise care when addressing her. Shen grossified. The gentleman, he doesn't act like one to me. Sir? She's like, that's Dahlia. That's Dahlia. How many crimes did Dahlia commit before we got her in trouble? This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make lots of mistakes. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the trouble I might cause. Not at all, it's no trouble at all. Please have your name and occupation. My name is, Melissa Foster. We already know it's not her name. It's Dahlia. I'm a college student, a freshman in the literature department. You're on the scene when the unfortunate event occurred, correct? And you were the one who took the photo? Is that accurate? Well, how can you be so mean? What are you doing shoving that in her face like that? Huh? It's just a photograph. It's not like it's something. It's the photograph she took, so you can't even act like she doesn't know what's on it. The next time I'll be forced to penalize you. She's staring at me. And you would be? Huh? I'm the defense attorney. My name is Mia Fey. I see. So you are... Is your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I'll do my best. I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly they just started fighting. That's when I hurried and took the photo that showed the crucial moment. And right after that I called the police. So we know she's involved somehow. By the way, where were you standing when the incident occurred? Is she the kidnapped girl? Is she the kidnapped girl? 19, 5 years ago, 14. She's the kidnapped girl. Why lie? And 20. Okay, she would have been 18. Everyone's too goddamn young. What time? He was here. My son sentenced to death 5 years ago, escaped from custody 2 days ago. She said, witness in the case against Falls 5 years ago, she said she saw him killing the 14-year-old hostage. And then 5 years ago, she would have been 14. So the idea of the truth, this one. Talk to Dahlia, tell her this time the whole truth must come out. So the whole truth is that she did not die. The thing that's confusing is, why does Dahlia want this man sentenced to death for her death? And why was she so willing to lie and get Dahlia, or get this man essentially killed for Dahlia? I mean, is the idea that he did kidnap her, but he didn't kill her? Too young, you say? An 18-year-old police officer? I hope not. "20-year-old genius attorney." Let's see. Prosecutor? How old is the youngest prosecutor? Prosecutor. "20 years old for Judge Judy." I don't care about that. You can take the bar at 18. Fine. Graduated law school at 22. That's the thing, they're saying that they graduated with a Bachelor of Law at 16, but then you have to go to law school, right? Take the bar. Finishes law degree. So yeah. Finishes law degree at 22. Finished law degree at 20. But wasn't even a lawyer. 19. 19 when he graduated. But again, they had age requirements. So yes, technically 20 is fine. But these say law degree. This person admitted to the bar. "22. Studied law when it just says studying law at 19 though. But a lot of these sound if you finish at 22, licensed to practice at 23. That's a thing though. It's like when are you like allowed to practice law? A lot of these are law degrees, and that's a far cry from actually being in the courtroom as a solo prosecutor, not even observing. What's with the dot dot dot, Casey? How do you need to be a lead prosecutor? Press the bar. LSAT, go to law school. Yeah, a lot of these people are saying they've earned like a bachelor's degree in law young. But then they have to still go to law school, so they still finish law school at like 22. So it's unbelievable. How old do you need to be a police officer? I mean, 18, I'm assuming, is technically fine. No, you can't. You can't be. It says varies from 18 to 21. Oh, this is a certain state. But it says you can apply after 19. Most require you to be 21 by the time you graduate from the academy. So this says you can be hired as a police officer. The process may be different in Japan, though. Yes, but isn't Phoenix Wright set not in Japan? Also, Japan definitely has some ages. Okay, so how old do you need to be a police officer in Japan? It's way harder to find. What's the minimum age to join the police in Japan? You have to be 20. There's provisional acceptance, but like to be officially like out and about, you have to be 20, it looks like. But you can take the exam at 17. Yeah, just provisional sort of thing. Like you can, yeah, you must be, because you can't be a minor. She would be a minor at 18. Let's see, how old you need to be a prosecutor in Japan. Is this just a game? Yes, but it's just goddamn wild that they're bragging about these ages. Average age is 28. Law school system takes 3 years, and it's after graduating law school. Yeah, the average age of people passing is 28 to 29. The idea that you could shave off a few years is plausible. The idea you could shave off 8 years and be a lead prosecutor seems pretty low. Because I don't care how good you are. It would be very difficult to be taken seriously. You have to be a professor or assistant professor at law at a university for 3 more years. Public prosecutor. Yeah, you have to be a deputy for 3 more years. There's no way in hell he was doing it at 17. Interesting. That's the thing. It's just like, there's like a level of just too young, you know? I mean, maybe if they're trying to make it more relatable for people playing, you know, younger teenagers so that it doesn't feel like people are ancient. You know? Have all your characters be in their 20s, so they're still young, but not actual children. But it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Developed a genius as soon as he started as a prosecutor. Where are you standing when the incident occurred? Standing over here in a beautiful field surrounded by tall cliffs. Well, then you can't see for I mean, I guess you could see here. Fine, pass. Fine. Oh, from that location. I brought the camera I was using at the time, just like Mr. Edgeworth asked me to. What a cute camera, just like its owner. I hate this. Time for your cross-examination. Make the witness cry again and you'll feel the wrath of my gavel. I will, you know what? I will save scum and insult the hell out of her and then undo it. I was using my camera to take some pictures of, wow, oh yeah. Okay, let's save in case I get arbitrary, like, that's the thing that kind of sucks though, because you're like, I'm supposed to press everything! Also, you sound gross, Judge. Wildflowers? It's only February. I couldn't wait for spring to come. I know just how you feel, but that means there's no flowers! Then you would just say, grass, the cliffs, the river, the view. Dyed blonde Santa beard until mine grew in properly? That doesn't mean she's sitting there putting fake flowers in the photos. Now back to the facts of the case. I don't like blonde Judge. White-haired Judge was like kind of a sap, but not this creepy about it. Like a little creepy, but not this bad. Anything strange about the two of them? I'm a bad girl, I know I am. It looked like they were having a really serious conversation up there, so I decided to watch them like some kind of peeping Tom. Not at all, everyone is like that. I love watching other people fight too, and in fact can't get enough of it. Actually, that's why I took the job in the first place. Too much info, Your Honor. Especially dressed as they were. Well, anyway, I was watching them very closely. Suddenly, they just started fighting. Do you have any idea what they were fighting about? I have no idea. Why do you ask? Have you overheard what they said? I'm gonna get penalized for making her cry, right? I would never eavesdrop. I've got more class than that. That's right, Miss Faye. I'm dragging a witness down to your level. Okay, didn't penalize me for that. Okay, I'm gonna save. After that, that made me go like, oh god, they're gonna take off points just because I had no way of predicting she was gonna cry. I just take a photo. Because we're really going at it. Ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a news reporter. I guess that's a part of me that just kind of took over. Smells like a lie. Yes, I understand completely. Even now, I can't completely abandon my boyhood dreams. Hey, that makes me sound young enough for you, right? Boyhood! I still use my grandson to test my comedy routines on. All I could do was use my camera, so I took the photo of the crucial moment and gave it to the police. Ah, dick! Girl's testimony? How do you know when you can't hear the... After her little finger? But, The fact they put this in the third game means that I would immediately recognize her. Mia would have immediately recognized her. Oh, please, yes, because it looked to me like the murderer was going to try to escape. We're already moving before the call even came in. We have to find the real murderer, right? If it's not Dahlia, who is it? Because it can't be Dahlia, or else that doesn't make any goddamn sense. For the next game, does Mia just fail? Is Mia just destined to fail? Like, we find out the truth, but it's not good enough? Really tough time for the criminal. I think that's too strange, that girl's testimony. The thing that doesn't make sense. Okay, I don't know. I'll use my camera to wildflowers. People standing up on the suspension bridge just started fighting. When I heard and took the photo, it was just a moment. Where are they fighting? They're fighting on the bridge. All it shows is the bridge. It could technically be like the cliffs here and it cut off something. Whatever. They're not fighting in this photo though. Yeah, I just thought. But in theory, she could take the picture of them standing there first. And then they started fighting. But yeah, it's probably that. Okay, this one then. Witness, when you said you took a photo of the crucial moment, is this what you meant? All I can see in this photo are two people facing each other. You testified you saw the two of them start to fight. Normally that's the kind of thing we would refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented a photo like that? Well, you see, the photo you presented was the only one there was. I accidentally deleted it! What happened next? Dope. What are you, Homer? Apologies, young lady. Miss Faye's assertion is not without a certain amount of merit. You can certainly downplay the situation, can he? I'm a very bad girl. I used up all the film, I mean. You ran out of film? This photo was the last one. What? Can we just check the camera? That is the truth. A small but powerful model. And all the photographs she took that day. Who took the photos? There's a tripod. Please, I don't care. What is this about? After all, just a minute! First sort of photo is the incident you took with your very own eyes. You're quite the poet. It does look digital. But I can't prove it unless it says so. Wait, I can't just be like, let's check the photo, let's check the camera then. Doesn't matter the photo she took before if she had space left. Guys really sucker for sweet talk. The other kitten in the room is the one that's getting all the attention. We already did this one. These are the same. 10 yards? What do I think she tried to... I think it's supposed to be like, it's just the closest conversion to meters, right? Better than to turn her back on a criminal. Conjecture! Large, powerful man with a knife. A quaggy woman? What does quaggy mean? How offended should I be? Sorry, quaggy? I'm a bog? I'm flabby? I'm a quagmire? Maybe me, I probably would have jumped to the river. The map may not say 10 yards. Wasn't able to get away from him. Going back and forth. You're falling off. No, their positions are wrong. According to the map, he would be blocking her off. She would have to fight back. There would be no way of her running past him somehow and getting away. And if she fought him, she would have gotten most likely stabbed in the front. Who is it though? It can't be Dahlia. Just because the game before this had Dahlia in it as the girlfriend. Phoenix ate a whole glass bottle for her and was the biggest idiot that ever existed. I don't know if it's the map or the picture. Probably the map, right? It's one of them. It's not this one, then I'll present the other one. Witness, your testimony is a joke. But what I just... Miss Faye, I thought I warned not to make the witness cry. Sucks to suck. One short testimony and two bad contradictions. There's no possible excuse. You say there were two contradictions! It's simple, just take a look at the diagram of the area. According to her testimony, the two of them were in the middle of the bridge. But if they weren't, the victim had turned around and tried to run, well, then she would have hit a dead end. You said 10 yards, but she couldn't have even ran 5. Because Dusky Bridge is collapsed on that side. Ah! What does all this mean? Your Honor, she lied! Unga Urk has been lying to the court. She's a liar, but she's hot. Just a moment, Your Honor. Allow me to personally apologize for the confusion. What do you mean? One major mistake in this diagram. What'd you say? What are you referring to? The diagram was made after the incident occurred. A very old bridge. We couldn't find any official blueprints of it. What? Even the bridge is currently in disrepair. No evidence that can prove that the bridge was broken during the incident? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. You can't actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo. I apologize for the court for not being more clear when I presented the evidence. God. That guy is good. Huh? He still has a scarf of evidence that I've mostly used to my advantage, so it doesn't really matter. Genius, alright. That diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy. That coward made a reckless accusation. Not really. I'm so sorry. I should have been more careful myself. It wasn't your fault. We already caught her in a contradiction, so don't even give me that. We at least got one. Do the testimony, but it's so hard to go on. We're all on your side. Yes, sir. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms, and he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw. Also, it's rainy on the bridge, but that's her back, so. Testimony as it is, we're finished. Don't say that. Stop off in my favorite cafe. This is definitely Godot. And we're gonna have this terrible reveal that it's Godot. We know. We know it's Godot. Finger in the face. Go! On the tech. Running from the crime. Stabbed him back, quickly picked her up in his arms. I feel like I have to unlock something. The victim didn't fall down on the bridge. Actually, maybe she did fall. Of course she didn't fall down on the bridge. If she had fallen down, this photo wouldn't make any sense. If that were the case, her coat would have been all muddy. That means that she was lied then. If you don't mind, I was asking a witness. I don't need to be so rude. I mean, that is literally like feeding her an answer. Well, young lady? Of course she didn't fall down. The man in the prison uniform grabbed her before she could. One step too slow. And then what did the defendant do after that? And he carried her over to the car. The skirt was muddy. You personally witnessed that? Yes. Did anything strange happen when he did that? I don't know if you'd call it strange or not, but that's when the victim's scarf fell off. You mean this scarf? I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. How'd she not fall down? She said she grabbed her. He grabbed her before she fell. You mean the defendant carried the body all by himself? Yes. I think it'd be difficult. Yes, but let's remember they were on a narrow bridge that was about to collapse. A dead body on a bridge like that? Yes, he did! Why did he get all emotional? So emotional? Why do you say that? It's already a broken down bridge. Away from that. You can just kick the body into the river. Mountain's famous among hikers. February, rainy day. While templing, channeling dojo. Ropes can be found at any time. Absolutely certain it was my client who was carrying the body. Well, he was wearing a prisoner's uniform, but as for his face... You didn't get a clear look of his face? Well, they were far away and it was raining as well. I thought I was only supposed to say exactly what I saw. Excellent! You are a remarkably honest young woman! Salt in your coffee? Why would I? Why not? Go better with coffee than sugar? Might as well add a ton of salt to it. Bring out the rust in something, like a piece of evidence. Represent something I've got nothing to lose. Okay. Grip his arms. Right over to the car. I feel like that's something to do with this, right? How would he be able to hold her and then, like, break this open? That's all I can think of now. Wearing chains. Timer function. Handcuffs. We can try the chains. I'll try the chains first. But sometimes it's like, even though it's like logically shouldn't be able to carry it, the game's like, whatever, we didn't decide that one. Okay, yep. Not the case. Alright, then we'll try the handcuffs again, but on that screen that I tried the lock thing. Chains. Did it? Nope. I don't have to save scum, but... Okay. Can I just push in the river? Is it just because, like, why not just push in the river? Oh. Killer not wanting his victim to be found, I can understand that. However, the idea of moving the body for that purpose is clearly odd. There's a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found. What is it? Take another look at the map of the area, you'll see how. Yeet! Something interesting about the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered. In the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. If 10 murders were to occur at that same spot above Eagle River, you can bet your boots that every other killer would have tossed the body in the water. Come on, what a dumb killer. It does seem odd to not have thrown the body in the river. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? How sad. Like to try to take a dip in the river herself? What is that? What? The body disposal. The fact is that this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what we saw. It's without a merit after all. But what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous. Can't deny the body was found in the trunk of the car. I'll try. The mean lady might yell at you again. I'll do my best. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked up his arms, then he carried her over to the car. Broke into the trunk of the car. Someone can't hit her body there. How'd she see it? How do you know that? He got in the car and was about to flee. That's when I came to my senses. I said to myself, you have to call the police. Sure you saw that with all of your own eyes? Yep, 100% certain. Okay, well, that's not right. Open the map again? The map shows she can't see that. It looks like you've done it this time. Done what? Made a crucial mistake. A crucial mistake? Like what, Miss Faye? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. You're saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes? Yes, and... Oh, I accidentally gave her that one. It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. The place you claim to have taken the photo from that day is here. You see what I mean? Even if you tried to see the car, you wouldn't. Outcropping of rock is directly in the way. Ah! That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. There should be some sort of like background check of these witnesses too, to show the fact this is definitely Dahlia. The diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. However, it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car. That's right. It's not high at all. I was able to see his car just fine. No way. The photo clearly shows it. I'm so sorry, but that just doesn't wash. I believe it was the witness who presented us this evidence to the court, yes? This is the location where the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge. But the outcropping that is being referred to is really more like a cliff. Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff, but you still claim to have been able to see the killer's car. No! Order in the court. What is meaning of all this ballyhoo? Ballyhoo? Reported on the news. Witnessing a murder, you can appreciate the witness is very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself she saw it. But she knows about the trunk. Warned before starting her testimony, she was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes. Mr. Judge? I think I must have remembered things wrong. Hey, you can't just say that. No one on the face of the planet is perfect. Yes, indeed. Quite true. You know what they say. To err is human. Forgive, divine. I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here. Save the tears for later, kitten. Mr. Armando! Don't look back until trial is over. Now is the time to go forward. Is the idea that, like, Armando and Mia eventually date, and then she dies, and Godot is, like, so crushed by it that he becomes a prosecutor because he can't be a defense attorney anymore or some BS? Make him more likable or whatever. He's significantly hotter without the dumb visor. Then you need to remember other kitten's testimony. How did she know that? How did she know that he broke into the trunk? Aha! Until you can explain how you knew that, you're gonna have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom. Well, witness, I'm certain that he broke into the trunk because there were marks left on the trunk lid. I'm certain they were scratch marks from when he broke into it. What? But you still shouldn't have seen it. It's true. Scratch marks on the keyhole. You satisfied? Yeah, but how? This still, the whole point is she couldn't have seen it. Doesn't work. Looks like you finally portrayed yourself. What? You said you were in a field taking photos of wildflowers, but even so, you knew that about the scratches? The question is when? When did you get a chance to see those scratches? Finally, I finally got her. Has Faye explained herself? Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The reason the witness had seen the scratches was... she put the corpse in herself. She's the owner of the car. So it would have been... she put the corpse in herself. Only one way the witness had the chance to see the scratches. When she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. The person who really hid the body in the trunk of that car was Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it? How did she not get arrested for this? That's ridiculous. I could never. It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that... I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Falls had been the one that put the corpse in the trunk, he would have simply used the car key. There was no need to break it open. But he stole the car. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light, which means that the key would have still been in the ignition. Oh, I see. Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we never would have uncovered the truth. That it couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in the trunk. No! Preposterous! To even suggest that the witness put the body in there. If that were true, then how do you explain the photo that she took? The corpse could have only been put in the trunk when the incident occurred, and we already know at the time she was taking photographs. It's a timer, I already saw it. How's your chance, Mia? Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm about to say is, the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself. Has a timer function. Let's take another look at this camera and see what features it has, shall we? It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. Why, it's almost as if she had brought this camera just to take this picture. What are you trying to say, Miss Faye? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed? If she really did use the camera's auto timer, then the answer is yes, she was somewhere else. Exactly. She was not in the field. The defense please explain further? This is a crucial point. I'm gonna save so that if I have to backtrack, I don't have to do it all. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? In answering that question, we'll also make clear Miss Foster's true identity. Please answer this question. She would have had to be at the car. Actually, the witness was right here, I think. In the spot where the defendant's car was? Yeah, she had to put the body in the trunk before the defendant returned. You don't mind if I ask one teeny-weeny question, do you, Miss Faye? If she put the body in the trunk at that time, like as you suggest, that must mean that Valerie Hawthorne was already dead at that point, correct? Indeed. Let's take a look at the top of Dusky Bridge. It certainly looks to me the victim is still alive, am I mistaken? If Valerie Hawthorne wasn't already dead, then who is this? The mountain is famous for spirits, so maybe you think it was the ghost of the victim? Well, it could have been a spirit, right? Ah! Or more or less. Fine. She was in the... Okay, then she was there. I'll take the hit for that. I didn't realize that she was already dead before the meeting. But that's where the victim, Miss Hawthorne, was standing. Miss Faye, what on earth? Your Honor, if I may. Does that mean Dahlia's the killer? That doesn't make sense for the next previous game. For the previous case with her not being in jail. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. This would mean there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, if somebody put the body in the trunk, it would only have been before the defendant met the victim. How asinine, of course Mr. Falls met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to have put the victim in the trunk is the same man that killed her, Terry Falls. You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne. I've never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life. And who exactly is the victim in this photo? I mean, it's obvious. It's your own witness. What? It's the only possible explanation. The woman that Mr. Falls met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster. Me? Let's remember that it was rainy and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Falls himself believed that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne. The defendant knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped get him convicted. No, but she had to wear a scarf. Since then, my client has spent 5 hard years in a federal penitentiary. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore. What's your proof? The note. Mr. Falls has forgotten what Valerie Hawthorne looked like. Mr. Falls had forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification, namely this muddy scarf. It was Mr. Falls who requested she wears the scarf to identify herself. That's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing a scarf like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. Well, what do you have to say to that, Melissa Foster? No! I love how they act guilty as hell, and they're like, no, she was telling the truth. She just, freaked out by the fact that she was getting exposed. Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby. It's obvious Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together. The only question is, why did she do it? It's not obvious she's the real culprit. I'll have to wait for Miss Foster to compose herself before you start again. Court's in recess. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Court is in recess. Like, again, am I going to fail? I don't understand. The case with Phoenix and Dahlia makes no sense. Why did they? Either I fail or they messed up the timeline. Mr. Falls. I'm sorry. I want to say thanks. You're real good. You really hooked me up. Thanks, we're almost there. Once I prove that she committed the crime. Yeah, but there's one more big obstacle we've got to get past. Obstacle? Yeah. Motive. Why would Melissa Foster kill the policewoman anyway? Motive, huh? Anyway, we're still badly in need of information. Info about Melissa Foster herself. All we know is she's a student studying literature. One more thing, what is it? The incident that happened 5 years ago, of course. The kidnapping murder case that Zebra Boy is on death row for. I didn't do nothing, I didn't kill nobody, I never lie. Tell us more about it. About what happened 5 years ago. I trust you. That day, 5 years ago, I dream of it every day. This picture, it reminds me of everything. Bridge looks the same just like then, 5 years ago. Like it could fall apart any minute. Been broke like that for at least 5 years. Sorry, buddy, but you sound like the one that could fall apart any minute. It's true, I did kidnap her. 5 years ago, I kidnapped my girlfriend, Dahlia Hawthorne. Ooh, okay. 20 and 14. He doesn't recognize his girlfriend? Yikes. But she's Dahlia. So he doesn't recognize, and she's Hawthorne. So they're sisters. That's goddamn why. But does that mean she killed her own sister? She can't be the murderer. Your girlfriend, huh? Too young. Too young. The victim's last name. Dahlia Hawthorne, Valerie's little sister. What, are you serious? Okay, fine. She could pass as her sister, right? The girl, let her go. Shut up. Come closer, and I kill her. Is he just delusional, or... I don't know what's better or worse. Sorry, but I guess he's... No matter what, he's too old, right? You're not gonna get the chance. Or she's too young. I think... No. She's too young. Detective back then was Valerie Hawthorne. At first I thought shooting someone for a kidnapping was crossing the line, but... If it was to protect her little sister, I can understand why she did it. Wrong. No, protect sister. Valerie betrayed me. Betray us. What do you mean she betrayed you? Everything. All lies. All make-believe. Kidnapping, too. A make-believe kidnapping? Dahlia, my girlfriend. My love. My teen angel. Ugh. I'd do anything she says. Anything Dahlia says. He doesn't recognize Dahlia? On the stand? What you're saying is that kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by me and Dahlia, and Valerie too. Valerie was in on it? Dahlia's family's rich. Jewelry business. We got 1 jewel. That's what we thought. Me and Dahlia wrote kidnap note. We send her to Dad? Ask for $2 million diamond. Tell him make exchange on Dusky Bridge. We tell him Valerie make transfer because she knew detective. In the end, you were planning on splitting the 2 million 3 ways, huh? Yeah, but that woman... That woman Valerie, she'd do it for real. She'd shoot at me for real, me and Dahlia. I was shot in arm. Dahlia, she jumped in river. Jump in river. Jump? You don't mean she jumped on purpose, do you? I couldn't do it. I could never push her. So, okay. Is the idea that... Okay. Is it like the idea that they somehow like manipulated him for some reason? Like... I hate the fact they used Dahlia because you know for a fact that's Dahlia from the previously meeting her. So then it just takes away any of the unraveling mystery. You're just waiting for it to happen now. At least all over. That's when they decided to give you the death sentence? So was the idea to fake it so they could keep the diamond and cut him out? So that the sister wouldn't have to actually stay with Falls? I couldn't believe it. That woman, she betrayed me. And if that's the case, why didn't goddamn Valerie do it? That man, Terry Falls, he killed her. He threw her off the bridge. He threw my beloved sister into the roaring river 40 feet below. Also, when your sister's not dead... 5 years, all I wonder is why? Why? Why did she lie? That's all I want to know. That's why you called her. You want to hear the truth from Valerie herself. But I forget what she looked like, so I tell her to wear a scarf. I don't want to hurt her. Just ask why. Why did you lie? Why did you betray me? I just want to hear answer come from her mouth. That's all. That's why you made a crazy escape like that. Just one thing, Zebra Boy. My senses are tingling. Where is it? Huh? Where's what? Come on now, kitten. The ransom, the $2 million diamond. Did you give it back to Pops? Did the police take it? I don't know. No, really, I don't know. It's gone with Dahlia. With Dahlia? That day on the bridge, Dahlia put it in backpack. Now gone with Dahlia. Gone forever. Into Eagle River. Disappeared with Dahlia, huh? Wait a minute. You can come back in now, ready to go. Mr. Falls, just one more question. When you said with Dahlia, do you mean the diamond is still missing? Along with the body of Dahlia Hawthorne? Never found her, my sweet Dahlia. Never found her. Swallowed by river, gone, Dahlia, my teenage angel. How old is she anyway? Just 14. 14? I guess you're robbing cradles before diamonds. She plans a fake kidnapping and disappears into the river with a rock worth 2 mil. Man oh man, angels these days. Falls takes the fall and gets a one-way ticket to death row. Is Dahlia Hawthorne an angel or is she really It's time! A few more ace of our sleeves. You bet! Gotta strike the iron while it's hot. Let's continue with the trial of Mr. Trey Falls. Witness, are you feeling better? I'll try my best. You're a brave young lady. I mean, she is not that broken up by the fact that her sister's dead. I can understand a defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. Putting the crime on an innocent student. What are you talking about? An innocent bystander, a witness to a violent crime. Murdering policewoman. Her motive, huh? I figured that's what I had to establish next. Yes, of course, I think. Acting as tame as a kitten. A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Smiling on the outside while your guts are twisted in knots is the mark of a pro. Why should quit grinning at me like that? May I speak, Mr. Judge? I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why I wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true. Honest and upstanding young lady. Real professional. Just when things are darkest for her. Click! Click! She lights right up. Let's hear what the witness has to say. I was out of the country until the year before last. Until I entered college, I'd never even been to Eagle Mountain before, and I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago, or kidnapping a poor girl, I just think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster. No possible motives. I have to tie her to this case. Something else has to, like, there's nothing specifically that I can tie with anything. So something has to pop up from this pressing. What country? Brutal civil war, make your way back to home alone. No personal identification. Lesser harder. Answer my question, I'll even repeat it for you. What country were you in? You should know the country. Back to this case. Never known Mr. Falls and Detective Hawthorne. Okay, yes. So I did need to do it. No, either the victim or the defendant. You didn't know either of them? Are you certain of that? Try around people. First time I saw either of them. It was really a coincidence. Is there gonna be proof of her being outdoors, picnics, hiking, you know, that sort of thing? Like a digger of sorts? That's just judgy. But Eagle Mountain is a 2-hour drive from here and no trains run through. Plenty of mountains closer and easier to get to. I went there once with the college hiking club. I fell in love with its stark, desolate beauty and its cold yet romantic gloominess. What's the name of your college? These are important details to be aware of, to know who she is. Private life? She's lying about who she is, so obviously this is necessary. What school did you go to? No! What? Perhaps what your behavior on the day was very suspicious. You know things you shouldn't. Scratches on the trunk of the car. Proves nothing. Why is that? Once to identify the suspect. Possible that time the officer showed her the photo. Rather serious mistake. That's not fair. That wicked inmate, I'll never be able to forget that horrid day. A grudge? The policewoman's testimony is crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death. It's precisely why he harbored such deep anger against her. So much anger he forgot his own guilt. My client has always maintained that he's innocent with these charges. Seems rather forgetful, your client, I mean. Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot about the poor policewoman as well. Your client, he forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's too bad for her he didn't forget about her testimony as well. That's harder. Forgot what the detective looked like? What do you mean by that? How do you know? Well, he couldn't tell who she was without some kind of identification, right? Wright. I'd been wearing a white scarf that day. And he probably would have tried to kill me. Bitter man. I'll still have it added. I don't have to use it. to the official testimony. You would? I was better at it. I wasn't wearing a white scarf. I won't say for now. I think Mia did it. What do you mean by lucky? It's February now, everyone's wearing scarves. If I'd accidentally worn a white scarf like you said, then you might have been killed. Terrible loss for this world. The scarf's not white. That's too hard this time. I should know we're not talking. It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. You mean about that incident? But weren't you out of the country? A report on the news, in-depth report about his whole history. Living abroad 5 years ago. Neck deep in this whole thing. Somehow you're just going to have to get it to show the court yourself. So something to prove she was either here or that she knew them. Or prove that she knows them. Just the scarf isn't white? I don't think that's it, right? I guess how does she know, right? She doesn't... Alright, we'll save, I guess... Yes, which means I needed to press it and acted like or present it, acted like it was wrong. Witness, I wanted you to look at the photo you took. It's hard to see in the photo, but look at the scarf the victim wears identification. The scarf right here. Yes, that's the scarf. That's it, the scarf the policewoman was wearing. I've got her now, just don't mess up. But that's strange. In your testimony, you stated the following. Guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. This is the scarf you identified as belonging to the victim, but it clearly doesn't look white to me. It was foggy that day and rainy as well. It's all surprising that she mistook it for white. Sorry, but not this time. The witness just confirmed that this was the victim's scarf. What's the significance? It's true that the scarf doesn't look white, but there's only one explanation for this mix-up. The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white is... this one. Witness? Have you ever seen this note? Note? I never. It's top secret evidence. There's no reason that you would have. I wonder about that. What do you mean? This note shows that Mr. Fall's instructions to the victim regarding their meeting. It says, wear a white scarf for identification. Witness, you knew what this note said, and it's because you knew that you slipped up and mistakenly oh, it's because you knew that you slipped up and mistakenly said white scarf. Well, Miss Foster? No! How many times does she have to be caught, like, clearly lying? Before they're like, no, she would never! Waiting for an explanation. I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public, and yet this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew were quite limited. Terry Falls is one. The person who wrote the note is the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is another. And finally, one more person. Did you say one more person? That's right, a person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten? Yep. The third person that knew the contents of the note was... Do I say Dahlia? I mean, I'm gonna say Dahlia because it's a note. That person is Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne, I've never heard that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. This is her name right here. Who is this person? This Dahlia Hawthorne is? Miss Faye must be desperate if she's trying to bring the dead back to life. Dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... She was kidnapped and killed by Terry Falls. You said she was killed, but was she really? What are you implying? Of course people thought she died 5 years ago, when she fell off the Dusky Bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead. But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she were still alive, she'd be 19 now. Melissa Foster. I believe that's the same age you are. Objection! Even you couldn't, Miss Faye. You are not saying. But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness— that was by accident. My finger fell. Okay. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. No way! It's not revealed for us either! Nice work. Also engraved some 3-alarm fire. Hit and run arsonist. Suppose her true nature, I can turn this whole case on its head. My chance to make Edward squirm. I mean, it's just who are you anyway? Didn't think it'd come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say anything more, witness. Yes, I understand. What? Mr. Edgeworth, explain yourself. Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue the matter this far. That means you're very aware of the fact that Foles did not kill anyone. Isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conduct a full background check. Yeah, they know it's her. Looks like the kid knew. He knew her true identity from the get-go. But then why? If you hadn't revealed her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. He just wanted her testimony, so he made a little trade. That means that he's just fine with... I mean, yes, this is early Edgeworth who just wants to win, doesn't care about people getting killed, I guess. The victim's younger sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. But, I thought she died 5 years ago. We thought so as well, but as you can see... Why? Why did she hide her identity for 5 years? It has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime. What the fuck? I know, right? I don't believe that for a minute. She's been playing the role of victim. She's been playing the role of dead. While the man's been in jail. Although he still kind of should be in jail a little bit. The scene of another murder. Really, Miss Faye, must show your strategy is painfully obvious. Pin the client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win. At any cost. It already proves the fact that he did not commit the initial crime he was in jail for. This girl was kidnapped, nearly killed. 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious, her big sister. Insane to even suggest that she murdered her. I'm inclined to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Do you have any evidence? But also, you have no evidence that she didn't do it! I mean, yes, that's fine. It's proving a negative. Whatever. But my point is, the fact that I can't, like, Mia can't be like, this is what happened, and people go like, oh, that makes sense. But then Edgeworth can pull it out of his ass, and they're like, oh, no, yeah, that's right. That's so right. All the evidence is pointing that she did it. Everything's pointing at her doing it. No, but that was a great story. No, I know why, Casey. It's fine. Well, you see. I love how it pretends like he's turning around. No, I'm fine. That wasn't me. That was this guy, this crazy coffee addict. I think I've heard enough empty threats from you, old man. Sorry. No, they did not call him old man. They did not call this man old man. This hurts me. On the edge of his— don't fucking say that! He's the closest in age to me on this goddamn cast. I think we've heard enough empty threats from you, old man. What makes you think you're empty, boy? Your protege looks like she's sweating bullets. I am sweating bullets. Just arrived at the moment of truth, that's all. Up to you. The rashness of youth, how charming. What motive would the witness have for murdering your own sister? Money! A joke? Oh, that was the rashness of youth? Okay, fine. Ugh. A note. Story starts after Terry Falls escaped. She called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet. This is the note she left. It says, talk to Dahlia, tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Valerie Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. She told her she was going to reveal to the world the whole truth. The whole truth? There was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia. That's the reason Dahlia felt she had to kill Valerie. To keep her mouth shut permanently. Perfect story if you like fiction. Enlighten to court what was so what was this secret that was so important? Where's your evidence? Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne and Cherry Falls. There's only one important secret that connects them all. I know the secret. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony. Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago, we believe it will explain a lot of things. Such as the nature of the important secret between the Hawthorne sisters. Very well, I'll grant your request for further testimony. I know it'll be painful for you, but can you enlighten us once more, my little maple leaf? Ew. I'll try, Mr. Judge. Last time you hide behind your womanly wiles. 5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money, so I decided to change my identity and start a new life. Kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over again. And we're to believe after all that she murdered her sister? Preposterous! Yes, Your Honor. As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination. What about that ace up our sleeves? The fact that the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged. The fake kidnapping, Cherry told us in the lobby. We don't really have evidence to that, though. Anything Dahlia says. Kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by me and Dahlia and Valerie, too. That's it. The fake kidnapping is your best shot, Mia. That's her secret. I'm gonna save in case I'm not actually allowed to press her. 5 years ago, kidnapped. You have a relationship? As a tutor. You were tutoring him? No, of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Mr. Falls came to the house to tutor me. That makes sense. 5 years ago, she was only 14. Kidnapping plan then. Jewelry trade and quite wealthy. Mr. Mr. Fall's a clever fellow. Raw diamond. Heard the diamond was valued in the neighborhood of $2 million. Still uncut, so it's about the size of a pint of milk. $2 million pint of milk. I don't know what to think about that. Her sister Valerie made the exchange, not as a detective, of course, but as an individual. By the way, I want to ask you, Mr. Edgeworth, why do you think you wanted to make the exchange up there on that mountain? If you ever got surrounded, it would be hard to escape. There's only one thing a kidnapper wants to present, and that's police involvement. In a place like that, it would be easy to tell if he were being followed. Only one entrance to the mountain, he was ensuring his safety. Not really! He's still kinda SOL, right? I guess he could threaten to kill her, right? A wickedly clever man, Mr. Falls is. Right, it was all your plan. Valerie brought the diamond to the mountain and shot Mr. Falls in the arm. Dangerous thing to do considering you were being held hostage. Actually, that saved my life. What do you mean? I was holding a knife in his right hand. Somehow, I just knew he was going to use it. I knew he was going to use that knife to kill me. That's why my sister shot him. It was to save me. Tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. Hear more about what happened right at that moment. Let go of me. I was dazed. I turned to try and run away, but Mr. Falls turned and grabbed me as well. As I ran past, he and I locked eyes for a second, and he gave me a large bloodthirsty grin. And in the next instant... I advised the court to remember that the river is 18 feet deep and incredibly swift. I was a strong swimmer, but I was knocked out. When I came to, I had been carried away by the river to a strange place. I'll never forget that day. The crumbling bridge, nowhere to run. One little shove from behind, that was it. From behind? I guess she turned around, right? Before my sister could catch me, I fell into the river. That's why you hid your identity? I only told my sister, like Hawthorne. She's the only one who knew about me. Legally, this witness had been deceased for 5 years. I didn't ever want something like that to happen to me again. Change my identity, start a new life. But that requires a lot of paperwork. Melissa Foster? Help me get the official paperwork. Okay, fine. Makes sense. Without an insider's help, doing all paperwork would have been impossible. The only person I could count on, and you think I killed her. There's no way I could. Moment of truth for this witness too. Once the truth about the staged kidnapping comes out, everyone in the court will know how much of a Jezebel she really is. What evidence do I have that proves that, though, actually? Working off vibe-based evidence. Identity to her new life. That's the only thing I can have a chance against, right? Tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. It's just the placement is not working because I would be shoving him towards her. There are sides of the bridge, so like I can't imagine that's the problem. But it could be. I'll try, I don't know. You say that Mr. Falls pushed you into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe. But it's true, I felt a push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Falls. I'm sorry, I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible. Impossible? I asked the court to recall the condition of Dusky Bridge now and 5 years ago. That bridge hasn't changed one bit in these last 5 years. Which also means I was shit on for no reason. If someone had pushed you from behind as you claimed, instead of being carried away by the river... Oh, I didn't even realize. You would have been smashed by the bedrock below. Most certain death. You understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible. Well, I got there, but I wasn't right. 5 years ago, the water level of the river may have been higher back then. But it's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. A small change in the water level wouldn't have made a difference. Events occurred just the witness testified the defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this? Oh, saying like, if their water level had been higher, it still would have been so shallow she would have died. Edgeworth using reverse climate change to explain water levels. Yeah, but that shit would have to, like, it was only 18 feet, right? But then, that means for the water level would have been crazy high to the point there wouldn't be a risk at all, you know? And we already know there was a fall risk. So, in order for the water level to be higher, but then still a big gap means that, like, 2 feet of water ain't doing shit over rock. UCI. Just a moment, Your Honor. It's true that the witness testified the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she never stated that she fell from the back end of the bridge. What do you mean? Yeah, she could fall over the edge. Mr. Falls panicked. He could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. Yeah, that is possible. Mr. Edgeworth's explanation correct? Why do they tell her the answer and then ask? And then expect it to not be just her repeating what she clearly is supposed to say? When I fell off the bridge, my skirt got caught in one of the bridge's side wires. You can't be serious. Like, the amount of opportunities for her to pull things out of her ass is ridiculous. Anemia. It's no time to restrain. This is just the start of Miss Faye's assault. I'm gonna save. Because I feel like this is gonna be one of those things where I'm supposed to fail, and then I get a, hold on! Which pisses me the hell off, because it's like, the whole point is you're supposed to keep fighting, right? You're not supposed to guess that, oh, I'm gonna just let myself fail. Reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, I'm forced to say that's impossible. Ridiculous. What's so impossible about it? She was short? Because your flawed logic contradicts the court record. Yee! Is damn tall? Your Honor, all of the answers right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up to about 5 feet off the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from there. No! But let's remember the size and strength of the defendant. He would have had to yeet her 5 feet in the air! You could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over, but that's not accidental. That's very much so young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Falls has been shot in the right arm. And more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had the gun trained on him at point-blank range. Yeah, let me just not shoot him while he lifts my sister straight into the air, 5 feet up, and, like, dumps her over the edge. Throwing witness off the bridge? That's clearly impossible. What's the meaning of this? Dahlia Hawthorne, you jumped into the Eagle River intentionally. Although I still don't know how she got through that fence. What do you mean by such a ridiculous remark? My sister was there to help me. She had her gun in handcuffs. She could have saved me. Jumping into a raging river like that would have been suicide. Perhaps, but still, that's exactly what you did. You were probably confident that you could handle the swift current. But even more so, the witness had a much more compelling reason for jumping into the river. Oh, what was it? What was so important that she'd want to jump into the river? The diamond? She's making sure it can't be returned? The witness is still alive. This fact alone explains everything. This is why she'd risked her life by jumping into the rapids of the Eagle River. 5 years ago, something else disappeared along with Dahlia that day. The item that Valerie brought up the mountain with her, the $2 million diamond. No, it can't be. Dahlia had it all planned from the beginning. $2 million, she was going to keep it all for herself. She forced Mr. Falls to help her fake the kidnapping. At the last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river, with the ransom tucked away safely in her backpack. Dude, fighting a current with a backpack on, though, is roughy. That's simply ridiculous. Order, order, order! Your Honor, 5 years ago, the witness was only 14 years old. Do you really think a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan? This woman is a demon. And there was one more person who helped make a demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. The victim was involved in the kidnapping plot as well? But she was a detective then. You're saying she participated in her sister's kidnapping? Yeah, $2 million. I'm sure that it weighed heavily on her conscience for the past 5 years. This is the sole reason behind the victim's murder. On the day of the murder, after receiving the phone call from Mr. Falls, Valerie called her sister Dahlia. And then she told her what she was planning to do. She was going to tell the whole truth as she wrote in her note. That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That is when you hatched your demonic plan to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. A plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that is why you killed your sister, Valerie Hawthorne. Hehe. What? Laughing at a time like this? There we go. Evil turn again. Forgive me, it's just hilarious. Witness, that you? You amuse me, woman, Miss Mia Fey. You can certainly weave an exciting tale, naturally. You have the evidence to back it up, don't you? Evidence? Evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course? That at 14 I plotted it with Mr. Falls and my sister? Well, And one more thing. What happened to the $2 million diamond? If you can't provide evidence at least to show that. Oh, Miss Fey? I don't know. What a joke. You, Miss Fey. Are you stupid or something? How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't even have decisive proof of Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Well, it seems that we've come to the end. To be honest, the witness's behavior does raise certain suspicions. However, I am forced to reject these assertions made by the defense. She's gonna be innocent, right? Of course you are. Is this it? Is it really over? That girl has made a fool of me and there's nothing I can do about it. Canonically, she should lose. Without evidence, the trial is over. Who decided that? Mr. Armando. Come on now, kitten. Haven't you figured out that you can make your own rules? Even if there's no evidence, there's still testimony. On the day in question, Dahlia Hawthorne murdered her sister Valerie Hawthorne, hid the body in the trunk of the trunk of Mr. Full's stolen car, and then went to meet with him. Disguised as her sister Valerie Hawthorne. That's what you think, right? That's right. In that case, there's only one answer. Only one person left who can testify about Valerie Hawthorne's murder. There's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who is the one person who can testify that demon woman's crimes? It'd have to be him. Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness. Yes, we would like to hear the testimony of Terry Falls. The defendant? There's only one person that can shed any further light on the situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. Only one person that can say whether the person in the photo is Valerie Hawthorne, or whether it was in fact her younger sister Dahlia disguised as herself. There's only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all, and that person is Terry Falls. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what is your take on this? Why not? Prosecution has no objection. Very well. Bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand. It's my last chance, Mr. Falls. My last chance to establish Dahlia's guilt. You're all I have left. Defendant, you've heard everything that's been said up to this point, yes? I don't believe it. No way. Dahlia died 5 years ago. Valerie betrayed me. Mr. Falls, I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing is clear. Dahlia is very much alive, and you were used for $2 million. That's not true. Mr. Falls, there's only one question I want the answer to. 2 days ago on Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie Hawthorne, or was it Dahlia Hawthorne? Dahlia, did you betray me? 5 years ago, she promised never ever betray each other. Terry, Dahlia, it's true. You are alive. You don't trust me anymore? That makes me sad. Tell the truth, the real truth. I believed in you. I shouldn't need to say it, you should already know. But there is one thing that I will say. My life is in your hands right now, Terry. Dahlia. Allow Mr. Falls to testify once and only once. Well then, Mr. Falls, yours will be the final testimony in this trial. Witness? Ah! I'm so sorry, I apologize. Ah, water, please, water. Huh? Can't talk, need water. Oh well, I guess it'll have to be my coffee instead. At least it'll match the way he's probably feeling right now. Darker and bitterer than hell itself. Ah! Boots Terry Falls saw. That day, 4 p.m., I stopped the car. I was in front of Bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on Bridge. I watched my car from Bridge. I never put no body in that car. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. We talked. Then she left. That was Valerie, not my Dahlia. Mr. Falls, you're covering for her. Do you think she would do the same for you? That's enough, Miss Faye. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final testimony of the trial. Well then, Miss Faye, please proceed with your cross-examination. Another guilty verdict to go along with your death sentence? There's only one person who can stop it. You kitten, I think. Do I fail? Do I fail and we just exonerate him later as Phoenix? Because this trial's been too short, right? I think the point is I fail, and Phoenix has another chance, another crack at it. According to the note, the meeting was supposed to take place at 4:30. Arrived early, didn't you? Waited down the bridge for 30 minutes. Mr. Falls? Eagle Mountain, that spot. Strong memories. I just climb up. Is hiding something here? You're quite early, so you wait on the bridge, correct? I like waiting, I'm used to it. Waited 5 years to ask this question to find out why a woman betrayed him. 30 minutes must have been like the blink of an eye. Watched my car from bridge, I never put no body in that car. You were watching the car? That bridge, other side is broken, nobody can come from there, so I was watching car. What else were you expecting them to do? Something's bothering me. I'm getting a feeling, a contradiction? What's on the other side of the broken bridge anyway? Small shrine, that's it. Nobody came, no car, nothing. I'm careful now, are you certain that it was Valerie Hawthorne? I never lie, it's the truth. It was Valerie. I remember her face. Wait a minute, if you remembered her face, then why did you make her wear a scarf as identification? Sorry, I told a little lie. But the woman I met, she was different from the woman standing here now. She was different, it was Valerie. We talked, then she left. What did you talk to her about anyway? Valerie told the truth about the kidnapping 5 years ago. She said someone needed to take the blame for it. That was all I could think to do. She said that. That's why she lied, got me the death penalty. And were you satisfied with that answer, witness? Dahlia died. It was my fault, but I don't really remember. Maybe I did. Maybe I did push her in. It don't matter no more. Either way, my Dahlia, my sweet teen angel, dead. We just thought she isn't dead. After Valerie talked to me on bridge, nothing left to live for. How can you be so sure? It was raining that time, and sunset was 5 o'clock. Pretty dark at 4:30. Please, Mr. Falls, it's your last chance. You've already taken the fall for once for something you didn't do. That woman, it wasn't Dahlia. Stop right there. What more needs to be said? Even if it means death penalty, even if it means taking the blame for murder, you'll still do whatever is necessary to protect her, won't you, Mr. Falls? I know it's obvious, but he's clearly lying. He's been cursed by Dahlia Hawthorne. Probably go to his grave still believing in her. Even if you can show even if you can show he's lying, the poor guy will still be cursed. You'll still have to point out the contradiction anyway. That's the curse of being a defense lawyer, I guess. Honor, what do you think of this statement? Ugh. With the angle, she would have to have already been there. When you got to the bridge, no one had arrived, huh? So you waited on that bridge, you sure of that? I'm sure. Well then I'm sure too, Mr. Falls. I'm sure that you're lying. I would have loved to hear your rationale on this, Miss Faye. You want to know who arrived on the bridge first? Just look at this photo, it's perfectly clear. Obviously the person that came first would be the one at the end of the bridge, right? That's the victim at the end of the bridge. Exactly. Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Falls, you must have arrived at the bridge after she did. I don't understand even when the body was hidden or Dahlia died. Not Dahlia. Sorry, Valerie. We just want the truth. I got there around 4 o'clock, it's true. I had somewhere to go, a special place. Did you go to the special place before you went to the bridge? Yeah. It's an old temple about 15 minutes from the bridge. 5 years ago, me and Dahlia, we promised each other. We swore we wouldn't betray each other. She brought a memento to represent our love. Memento? I hid it under the base of a tree there. It's a special memory for me. This is it. This is what I went to get. Stupid poison bottle necklace? This little bottle on a necklace is your memento? It's quite charming, but it looks empty. Your Honor, you heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock. I know it's a throwback to the other case, but why this bottle, this necklace? Left his car unattended and walked away. On for approximately 30 minutes. With that much time, Dahlia Hawthorne could have easily hidden the body in the trunk of his car. No! Indeed, there's certainly enough time for it. Mr. Falls, there's no mistaking it. Huh? Mr. Falls? Is he gonna die here? Oh, he got poisoned. So that's how we fail. He just dies. But that's enough. Please. Witness? I promised her 5 years ago. If it ever happens that we can't trust each other no more, then we're supposed to drink bottle. No! Stop the trial! Your Honor, we need a recess. We need a hospital. I was stupid, couldn't keep promise, so I did it. I drank this. We were so close, just a little more. I was going to prove your innocence. No, don't want that. Don't trust self. Maybe kill again. Kill sweet Dahlia again. Mr. Falls! My Mr. Armando? Thanks for the coffee. Mr. Falls! Okay, so this is how they ended it, where we didn't lose, but he's just dead. And so my first trial ended suddenly and tragically. It ended with no winners, only losers. So, okay, wait. So then the Dahlia trial. Dahlia and Phoenix trial. Ward at University. Bottle necklace. He's a killer since deaths where she would make somebody get revenge. Okay, wait. Okay, so I remember they referenced something about somebody else getting poisoned, but I didn't know if they wrapped up that or not. So the idea is they proved the bottle was hers. Okay. Got it. I ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul I thought I'd never heal. I'm sure it was the same for the young prosecutor as well. That's why he technically never lost. It was because he just died. The one person, the true criminal, Dahlia Hawthorne, she left the courtroom with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face. Unforgivable. That witch. Mr. Armando, we were so close to the truth, it was right there in front of us. How did she get the necklace? You're just a little too soft, kitten. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself. Don't cry, kitten. You're going to make my coffee all salty. I knew it. I knew I wasn't cut out for this. Don't you get it? You can't cry yet. Oh. Oh. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Mr. Armando? No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time. Then you file them away eventually and forget them. Oh, no, in Phoenix's case, she poisoned the defense attorney, right? Mia and her co-worker defense attorney, Diego. So Diego should have technically died. One of Dahlia in the courthouse cafeteria after 7 months. Poison. Dahlia in the courthouse 7 months after the trial. Dahlia quietly slipped the poison into his coffee from a bottle necklace. Fell into a coma from the poisoning. It does not say he died? It says coma? Then it's definitely Godot. I thought he died. 1 year later in this very same courthouse, I myself got wrapped up in that case. Okay, fine. Okay, works out. Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put on trial for her crimes. You'd think all these poisonings surrounding her would obviously make her a bigger target. The verdict that was ultimately handed down to her was... guilty, of course. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect, angelic smile on her face. It was finally all over. At least, that's what I thought at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. Bum bum bum! It's been 5 years, but now something has happened that's made me remember all this. Bum bum bum. This is a short episode, though, actually. Bridge to the turnabout. We'll see an intro and then end for tonight. Save. Hydrate. Bum bum bum. Tsuchishito, the treasured Korean village heirloom, whose name means seven-branched sword. Raise his hand, Miss Shen, can I go to the— Don't stop pretending like as if you think you're my student. It is said that the sacred sword represents life itself. Through the branch, though the branches may appear to be infinite, the choice is limitless. Like our destinies, the sword comes to but one end, one merciless point. This knife would be brutal to be stabbed with, though. And when the silver cord, the fragile thread that binds us to this world, is severed. The illusion is revealed, and the implacability of fate is finally laid bare. Is it Dahlia? Can it be Dahlia? Well, don't know. Options. Title screen. That's a next time story. Wow, we made it through the whole, like, chapter, actually. That one was not that bad. It took us almost 3 hours, but still pretty good. Pretty good. Anyway, I will end there for tonight, of course. I ended up going longer because I knew the end was coming. It was not a long enough trial. Unless something came out of left field, but there's just not enough people to drag it on long enough to make it be worth splitting up. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with TFT with Akuma, so we'll see how things go then. Swag? Yeah, totally. Anyway, thank you so much to everyone that came and hung out. I'll drop the Discord, of course. Your headset kind of looks like Eva. Who's Eva? I didn't notice purple. Hey, there we go, Globy. I got you I gave you so much time. I, like, purposely took my sweet time a little bit just to make sure you could get it. So, yeah, you're welcome. Anyway, of course you can follow in the Discord to see what I'll be playing and what I'll be doing, and if there's changes to the time. Today I ended up streaming at the normal time. Ha! You look like Shinji colors. Eva Unit 1? Eva Unit 1. Eva's not hot. Man's not hot. But anyway. Unless, you might have to just post it in the Discord then. Ava, you're pretty, don't listen. Okay, search a pretty Ava and post it then. Good stream, thank you so much. I'll be back, yeah, tomorrow with TFT, Thursday with Genshin. Okay. And then Saturday morning for me, Monster Hunter Rise. Of course, you can check the schedule. And if you want any updates and changes or anything, or just want to say hi, you can join the Discord that Globe has so kindly posted in the chat. Oh yeah, the only thing that's going to be changing so far is the Genshin stream still should be probably cut off sooner. Today's stream was supposed to be cut off a bit sooner, so I'll just be tired tomorrow, I guess. But the Genshin stream should be a little bit shorter. I might try to start a little earlier for that. And then, Dungeons and Dragons might happen on the Dungeons and Dragons time, but we're not sure because it's up to how Akuma's feeling if he wants to DM. But it won't be the main story because I think we're not having enough people to do the main story quest, but we have enough people to do like an offshoot fun thing. D&D poggers. Dungeon Daddy Akuma? How's what? Okay, well, I guess if you put nipples on it, then it's hotter. But that's not what the looks like normally. Alright, anyway. On that I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much to everyone that came and hung out. If it's morning for you, good morning. If it's night, good night. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.